I've saved the math modulator for the end because this is one that you really almost have to use in conjunction with other modulators if you're really going to get any interesting results out of it, because otherwise what you'd really probably end up doing is just using a different sort of modulator. You wouldn't even go in here and use the math modulator, but you can see that we have different modes: multiplication, addition, subtraction, minimum, and maximum, where we have a and a B. Right now, both of these would be considered at 0. If you go to the left all the way, it would be like -1. If you go to the right all the way, it would be +1. So right now, with multiplication set up like this, 0 times 0 is obviously going to be 0. And my math is terrible, but even I know that. So as we go through, we're getting no movement. But once we give either a positive or a negative value to each of these, we'll be able to adjust the range of where this is hitting. Right, so a negative times a negative equals a positive value. But like I was saying, you would really only want to use this in conjunction with another sort of modulator, whether that's like a step sequencer, an LFO, whatever, because then you're able to at least go in here and really kind of get some range out of this. And so you can kind of add these steeper sort of moves that a regular knob isn't going to do. And so when we hit this at 0, it shuts off entirely, which is nice, and then we can kind of move it to different points. So you may go in here and then combine this with like buttons so that you could get different settings that you wanted. So we might take this one down here, have the other one go a little bit more in a positive direction. So now there's one mode, there's something brought back, there's a positive direction, and then with it off, it's just turning off entirely. So something like that you could definitely do. And obviously anytime that's hitting, hit 0 there, it's going to shut off too. Maybe we'd even have this button also then maybe speed up this. But you can hear we are getting some like clicks and some pops. So that's really the idea behind the button, behind the math. I'll really leave it up to you to experiment with this one further if you want. You have some modes like minimum and maximum that might be a little more like utilitarian if you just need specific things selected at a time. But we've already used the math in a few different places with like addition to kind of jump between different values within the modulators. There is use for this, but on its own, it's really not that exciting. So a major idea of this course is how you can find ways to combine modulators, and the math is the case in point example for that. So I'll leave it to you to find some interesting uses of it. I've seen some people do some interesting stuff with it already online, and yeah, I think I'm just going to go ahead and leave it there.